30-second intro. Pooh, I hope I don't get copyright claimed for the music. Anyway, this is my newest mock. It's part of a series where I try to make a new, entirely custom Ninjago city for my now empty IKEA shelf called the Ultimate Ninjago City. If you don't want to see the planning and background trivia, skip the first part. As I said, the motivation was my now empty IKEA shelf, and I wanted to start something bigger than usual and challenge myself to use the bigger 48 by 48 studs baseplate that are conveniently the same size as the depth of my IKEA shelf. I took a lot of inspiration from the Ninjago city sets and also cool mocks from other creators like CJ Tonic's World of Bricks, Yellow Bricks and Brick Legends. But I don't want the repetitive style of the Ninjago city buildings anymore, where they just stack tiny apartments on top of each other. I think there should be some bigger buildings, like smaller skyscrapers, so it doesn't look like a colorful blob, but rather has some structure in it. To see what a Ninjago city from the show looks like, I looked at many pictures. The most important ones were this map from some German comic book or something, and the trivia part of my 7620 Ninjago city instructions. After that, I settled on this design. In the middle of the city there's this river, and on the left and right sides of it there are buildings which get taller when the city gets longer. I also want to include famous places from the show and the movie. In this video's mock it's just this bridge with the sign that says "Welcome to Ninjago" and that white building with this weird fish on top. But in future mocks I definitely want to include the Borg Tower, the News Tower, the museum, the underground subway / Sons of Garmadon hideout and the Royal Palace. If you have some ideas from the movie or the show, like this person did, write a comment and I'm happy to include your idea. The characters in my city will be from the movie and season 8 and 9. This means those weird two-piece ninja masks. And if you want the continuing walkways from the sets, don't worry, I'll still use them on the same level so they could technically be connected. And I also want to include many brick-built neon signs in the Ninjagan letter design. Here's the translation chart. Feel free to translate hidden messages or something. Firstly, you might notice that there's a layer of bricks between the water and the base plate. That is so that I can carry the build without the plate bending and worrying that something might break. I won't talk over the building part. Instead, if there's something important, I'll write some subtitles, but only on rare occasions. I prefer when there's just lo-fi music and no talking like in my first few videos. But I don't know how you guys feel. You can write your opinion in the comments at any time. But now let's start building. And now that the build is complete, the only thing left to do is to populate it with minifigs. I placed 2 fishermen in the dock area. There's a fight between the Sons of Garmadon and Samurai X in the back alley behind the grocery store. There are plenty of people on the bridge and walking around in the streets. And there's also the Lego Space fan, the music store owner, and the guy listening to music outside the store. Above the grounds on the roofs there are Nia, Lloyd and Ultraviolet battling it out. And last but not least, I added this tiny boat and this weird flying jellyfish thingy. Wow, the build is finally complete. I, as always, had a ton of fun making this. Now, as the music is slowly ending, I have to say thank you for watching. See you in the next part of my ultimate Ninjago city. If you are as hyped as I am, there's a little sneak peek if you stay till the end, and tschüss!